We work really hard on Tuesday nights, and they are funny. And let's just have some fun. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up first, a big hand for David Chametzky. Come on, give him a hand. Chametzky, David, period. How's everybody doing today? How you doing? Come on. Yeah. Just recently I lost my job, and one of my friends called me up and said, Dave, I have the job for you. Don't worry, I got your back. And he said, the job is probably the perfect job for you. He goes, it's great pay, great benefits. So I said, how is it to be available for me? He goes, the boss is an ass and I just quit. So then I go out in an interview, and the job, when I walk in, the guy's like not even looking at it. He says, sit down over there, go, we're going to ask you some questions. Answer all the questions. I knew everything I was doing. I only applied for jobs I want. And then all of a sudden he looks up and he goes, can't get the job. Well, can't get the job. The job interview's going well. He goes, we have a no mullet policy. Then I go into the next job interview and I say, well, and as soon as I walk in, he goes, stop right there, you're hired. I'm hired? All right, thanks, great. What made you make the decision so quickly? He goes, you're the perfect to be an operator for a tilt-a-whirl. Now, I grew up in a family that we had Jewish and Italian. So we kind of always ate, right? So everything's about eating. And it was almost competitive eating. You know, if every time I sat down, we would all sit down together. My Jewish grandma, my bubby would be like, you didn't eat enough, you don't like my cooking, you gotta eat more latkes. And then my nanny would be like, you didn't eat a lot of sausage and peppers. Why did you don't like my cooking? What's going on? And because then, of course, my aunt would be sitting there eating with both sides of the plate and would be like looking for a heart attack. But then all of a sudden I'd be like, how do you answer each grandmother, right? You never want to disappoint your grandmother. So all of a sudden my Uncle Vinny would go under the table, give me the bottle, right? And what is the bottle? The bottle is Pepto-Bismol to get me through the meal. Yeah. So right now, and we're talking about middle-aged, being middle-aged, we're all mostly middle-aged. And, you know, part of middle age is just dealing with life a little bit, right? So recently, it goes from, you know, like, holy shit, how'd I get here, to kind of being blessed. We got to remember how we're being blessed. And being blessed is, you know, also acknowledging divorces and things like that, but also, you know, losing a good job. But I also have 2 teenage girls, so there's also a lot of things to be blessed on in life. And I really take time, and I think we all should take time to kind of realizing our blessings. Unless you have to clean up the vomit on the tilt-a-whirl. So, I have two girls, and when they were little, we all have the tooth fairy. I'm sure we all have tooth fairy stories. One of my stories was you forget the tooth fairy. Did anybody ever forget the tooth fairy? Yes. The tooth underneath the pillow? Yep. Okay, so the next morning the girls come out running. Daddy, the tooth fairy forgot the tooth. What happened? And I was, don't worry, I'll take care of it. I'm gonna write a letter. My little girl was like, no, I'm going to write a letter. And I go, okay. I take the letter, and the letter is, Dear Tooth Fairy, you forgot to take my letter. To make it right, you got to give me $50. Like, okay, great. You know, so the next morning, I of course do the swap, and I give her $50. Like, well, you know. Then the girls come running out of the bedroom, and they're like, Daddy, we got the money from the Tooth Fairy. I go, did you get all the money that you had asked for? Oh yeah, we got it. And I heard them walking away. My oldest was like that. I knew he'd forget about it. You know, you gotta give me my cut. Does everybody know what ChatGPT is? It's artificial intelligence. You like type in stuff and it'll tell you some things, right? So I typed in, I was like, how do you meet women? And they said, so gave me a prompt, dress nice. Simple. How about get some nice cologne? All right, and then it said, lose a freaking mullet. So eventually, I was successful, not through ChatGPT. I went on a date, and the date was going well. It was going great. We're having dinner, and I go, hey, you know, maybe let's go back and let's go get some ice cream after dessert. We'll take a walk, we'll go for ice cream. And she goes, nah. She goes, why don't you come? Let's go look at the Tunnel of Love. I thought about it. And then I was like, no way. I worked that ride for 3 weeks. It was hot and stinky, and I have no more coupons to get on the ride. Then, so my girls have grown up. They don't lose a tooth fairy anymore. They're in college. And so when they come home from college, I'm really excited. It's just me and the dog in the house, so I'm really excited to see them. And so I said, I'll do their laundry. So I walk in my daughter's room, and I see a pair of men's underwear on top of the clothes. Like, all right, you know, you got to do what you got to do. As I go pick it up to do the laundry, my daughter walks in. Dad, stop! What are you doing? I go, I'm really disappointed in you. You're hanging out with losers. She goes, my boyfriend isn't a loser. I go, show me. So I grab this sweatshirt and says, let's go Jets. See, they all said it wasn't going to go well. Thank you for this. Now, you know, also kind of being middle-aged, we all have a bucket list. Does anyone have a bucket list? I'm not going to ask any questions, but anybody have a bucket list? You can raise your hand. There we go. But you have some things you want to go, right? Nobody just wants to stay here on a Tuesday night in Belmore, right? That's not the goal. Okay, but so one of my bucket list things a couple of years ago was to do the pole bear plunge in Brooklyn. That's where I grew up. I was like, oh, I always wanted to do it. So I went to Coney Island, got on my bathing suit, I ran into the water, and it was great. It was invigorating, and then all of a sudden I realized my bathing suit fell off. So I'm standing there, kind of like Jack, like we were talking about before, about being Jack in the water. Like, what do you do? All right, and then I was like, all right, well, I guess the only thing that, besides my bathing suit, my dignity was going to be lost at sea that day. I decided to walk out, and the lifeguard comes running over to me. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you okay, lady? So, one of the advice that I could give you, I don't know, does anybody ever think about wanting to do the pole bear plunge? Okay, you all don't, but, oh, you do? Okay, great. So what you want to do is don't go in first. Okay, because that's when the water is the coldest. You wait till like 500 or 600 people go in, and then the water is a lot warmer. So this past year, I don't know if anybody has seen on the news all the costumes that people wear. They wear mermaid suits. There's everybody wearing costumes. So I was like, all right, I want to be part of the cool kids and go out and get a costume. So I'm going to sneak in with a costume. And everybody then starts screaming. And I couldn't figure out that they were all scared about a shark costume. Now, we all have some friends. I mean, you're all here celebrating with some friends. I had a friend, one of my best friends, that growing up, I knew him 35 years, died unexpectedly. And then I got left to make the arrangements. You have no family. What do? You got to do it right? So I said, we're going to take care of it, and we're going to have sit shiver. So I was gathering all the guys. We're going to go sit shiver. And it was the first shiver we ever did at Hooters. But I also know what you guys are all thinking up here, and what you're thinking really is also, that must have been the happiest rabbi ever. Thank you for your time. God bless.
David Chametzky, come on!